Hi, and thanks again for joining me on another episode of Sealed for Good. And today we thought we would drive the feedback we got after the episode about pedestal pavers and membrane systems. Lots of inquiries came through about protection of the membranes underneath pedestal pavers, things like UV and mechanical damage. So instead of just emailing out individually and sending messages out to those that had inquired, we thought we'd go through to the Gripset Nation and give you the drill and the rundown on my thoughts on that one, because it does come up from time to time. So you recall, as you're seeing now, we spoke about that episode where we had shown how our GC2 system is used underneath pedestal pavers and the advantages of a system like that under pedestal pavers, but there are many out there doing the same sort of thing. The question that came through from a number of people was a bit about UV light. Now look, technically, can UV get through the gaps between the pedestal pavers? Technically, yes, but if you actually analyse the direction of the sun, the thickness of the pavers and those gaps, the gap of the between the pedestal pavers compared to the thickness of the paver would be less than 20 to 25% in some cases, or in most cases I should say. The chances of UV on a membrane system that's going to damage that membrane daily is very remote. Because most membranes, that even if they're not built for full exposure to UV, will withstand that amount of UV light that would get on there while the sun is changing direction during the day. However, if you are concerned about that, then you can have a protective coating over the GC2 system like our Gripset LS roof coat, which is UV, non-slip, hard wearing, and it'll put all those concerns to bed. We do have things often that we use our C1P over that system or our 11YDM slurry. They both will withstand that amount of UV light for the course of the warranty period that we have for 15-20 years, if that's how you want to go. What is important to remember, not just on the UV factor, it's also about the protective system over the membrane. What you forget sometimes is that depending on the condition of the pedestal pavers, as I said before, the gap between, or the spacings between the pavers themselves, sometimes you don't just get water going through the pavers, you can get bits of debris on there. And so over time, is that going to be damaging? Now, things like leaves and dirt is not going to damage the membrane. However, if you have things outside that could be more abrasive, like little bits of pebbles or stones, etc., that could be over time, depending on where they sit. The other thing that's really important, which I'm not sure how we addressed it clearly with the last that episode about pedestal pavers, but around the drainage points, it's really important. Obviously, you've got your falls going towards the drain, the membrane system is there, and often the chances of built-up debris around the drain is the risk area. So sometimes you cannot see that through the pedestal system, because that's one of the advantages of the pedestal pavers, is it makes it look like it's a seamless floor without a drain showing. You need to know where those pavers are if you maintain the property, or tell your client about this as well if you guys are doing the job, where the pedestal pavers are sitting on top of the drain, and give them some sort of maintenance period about every 3 to 6 months to pull that paver up and just check that there's no blockages, particularly before a winter period. Always before winter and summer, before winter and after winter is a good time to give that guidance to your clients. Have a look at that, make sure it's a free area, there's no blockages around the drain, so you get a free run of water, and there's nothing building up there that could damage the membrane. So that's the other one. The risk of mechanical damage, I did address the pedestal feet sitting on the membrane. Now most of those feet that are under the pedestal systems, a lot of the brands out there have a non-abrasive base. However, if you are concerned of that, you can put rubber padding down, or as I mentioned earlier, if you've got a membrane system down that's durable enough to handle that, then it should sit on there quite easily without any issue at all. If you've got more questions on this one, because it comes up from time to time, I was quite astounded by the amount of people that actually inquired about the pedestal pavers and the different feedback that came through. Really appreciate that, guys. It is important to, it's all about the design and the planning at the stage. So if your quote is out there to a builder to explain to them about the pedestal pavers and the system you're putting on top, explain to your client why you're doing that. It's the added bonus, particularly if you're going with a long warranty system. Important that your client understands that, and it's also going to give them the benefit ongoing over time, particularly asset managers. We have got lots of commercial jobs we're seeing now where the pedestal pavers are the option over the traditional sand, cement, ceramic screed tile system over a membrane system. So get that right, check that out, and if you have any questions, push them through to us. Our tech services department is always happy to write a spec and give you support and assistance in that regard. But any general questions, keep firing them away. Catch you on the next episode.